Hello, everyone. This is Luis Concepcion from Strategic Profit Line Trading, coming to you with the plan of the week for week number 38. The following are disclosures. This content is for educational purposes only. I will not be providing any investment advice. It's not tailored to one individual. Past performance does not guarantee future results, and all investment involves risk, including the loss of principal. Here's our agenda for the week. I'll go over the news. I'll cover some market overview on the indices, and this week we have 47 companies reporting earnings. Here's our outlook on earnings for the week. Should be a quiet week. This week is the big thing this week is Fed cutting rates if they could go ahead and do so, and that's going to be on Wednesday. So be cognizant of that. It might be a slow Monday and Tuesday. Year to date on options, we are 101 and 27. Now moving into the Fed, this is the week we've all been waiting for. Ironically enough, just 2 weeks ago when I covered this, we were at 70% chance that we were going to cut rates. And as of Friday, the 14th, you can see that now we're only at 50%. So it's going to be real keen and it's going to be real interesting on see what the Fed does or does not do on Wednesday. Moving into our news for the week, as you can see on Monday, we have nothing going on. Moving on to Tuesday, for those of you trading future and forex, you can see that the Canadian dollar will be affected pre-market as well as we have core retail sales on the US dollar. So be mindful of that. That may cause volatility at market open on Tuesday. British pound has CPI Tuesday evening. So be mindful of that. Those of you trading the British pound. Moving on to Wednesday, which is the day that we have Jerome Fed Powell speaking in regards to our cutting rates. As you can see, that's happening at 11 o'clock. So try to get your trading done before the market in the morning, and just be mindful that at 11 o'clock we will have the Fed's fund rates, an FOMC statement by Jerome Powell, and then the press release. So at 11 o'clock Pacific, just be mindful of that. Get out of your trades, or just be mindful for the increased volatility during that time until market close. After the market closes, you can see the New Zealand dollar has its GDP and Australian dollar has employment change and unemployment rates. So be mindful of that for those of you trading futures and forex. Moving on to Thursday, the British pound has several reports of monetary policy, official bank votes, and official statements early in the morning. So be mindful of that if you decide to get into any trade in the British pound. Continue Thursday morning, we'll have some unemployment claims, so we'll be recovering from whatever happens Wednesday afternoon from Jerome Fair Powell, and then some more volatility Thursday morning. In the evening, you can see British pound, Japanese yen has some things that are tentative for it, so be mindful of that. And then Friday morning, you can see the Canadian dollar is being affected pre-market, which will affect the equity markets. And we have, for those of you trading futures and forex, we did roll over to the Z contract. So be mindful of that this week as well. Moving into the charts for the week, starting with the SPX. As you can see, this was our level that held. Be mindful of that. Anything after Wednesday, I'd be cautious on using this level in the effect of the market decides to shoot up based off of the volatility and Jerome Powell's statement. But as you can see, this level worked once, twice, and three times. So the supply in this level is is dwindling down. However, for those of you who want to trade before Wednesday, that level is 56.42 to 56.74 on the supply side, as we may have minimal to no movement on Monday and Tuesday. On the demand side now, the first level I have for you is 53.71 to 53.23, and that's going to do it for the S&P 500, or for those of you who trade the SPX. Moving on to the NASDAQ, as you can see, the NASDAQ is weaker and has not reached this level. So the Nasdaq is right in the middle. The first level I have for you on the supply side is 2253 and 2592 on the supply side. On the demand side, this is the level where we're turned at. This is more of an aggressive level here, but that level still holding intact, and that's 18,555 to 18,296. Next level on the Nasdaq I have for you is if we test the lows of last month. That's going to be 17,581 to 17,296. Moving on to the Dow Jones, as you can see, the Dow Jones is stronger than the Nasdaq. Almost made an all-new time high again on Friday. That all-time high this year being 415.85. There is no supply in the Dow Jones. If we have a breakout based off of positive news with Jerome Powell, we may make an all-new time high again this week. On the demand side, the first demand level I have for you on the Dow Jones, it's going to be 395. Call it 396 to 392 even, with it testing its lows last month at 388.04 to 382.94. Moving on to the rut. As you can see, the rut's been sideways, and I've been saying this all year. Same levels here on the rut holding. We got the 23.25.66 to the 23.70 on the supply side. And on the demand side, we got 20.18.33 to 19.56. The rut's been moving sideways all year long. So don't expect any movement. It'll just follow the other indices wherever they choose to go. Now, moving into the earnings for this week. Again, earnings is dwindling down. We won't have a significant amount of earnings to the middle of October. However, these are the companies I found for you. First company this week I have for you is Ferg, with a supply zone at 201.19 to 208.24. And on the demand side, 169.92 to 162.34. Next company I have for you is GIS. You can see this level has already started working, and it's worked previously, so be mindful of that. On the supply side, we got 74.57 to 77.65, and a subsequent level at 80.05 to 82.83 in the event of an overshoot. On the demand side, first level I have for you is 60.92 to 58.80. Next company I have for you is Darden. On the supply side, I got 165.57 to 168.24. And on the demand side, 144.43 to 140.26. In the event of an overshoot, you still have another level here at 137.94 to 133.13. And that's going to do it for Darden Foods. Next company I have for you is Dava. On the demand side, we got 24.69 to 20.91. And on the supply side, it's very far away. This company has a lot of potential to move up. 64.27 and 69.28. Moving on to FDS. FactSet. So on the demand side, 360.20 cents to 352.43. And on the supply side, 484.71 to 495.71. Moving on to CBRL, also known as Cracker Barrel. As you can see, we almost missed this zone and touched it. That level is going to be 34.61 to 25.50 on the demand side, with a supply zone at 80.16 to 84.38. Be mindful of this gap closure right here. Might be your first stopping point at 55.61 to 59.69 on the supply side. Next company is FedEx. FedEx has been trading between these two levels all year round. Be mindful of this. That first supply level is going to be 312.20 to 320.32, and on the demand side, 244.17 to 239.09. Last company I have for you reporting earnings this week is Lennar. As you can see, getting real close. Real estate is real strong during this last quarter. All-time highs was on 186.60, so I have no supply for you. First demand zone I have for you, 161.26 to 156.80. In the event of an overshoot, we got a level here at 141.46 to 137.26. With that being said, that's going to do it for the charts this week. For those of you who are not following me on social media, go ahead and do so on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, so that you can see updated trades throughout the week. For those of you who want to see when my upcoming courses are, feel free to go ahead and check out the website. If anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to email me. With that being said, have a safe week. Expect volatility on Wednesday. And until next time, happy trading.